People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, guys, we're back. And this week we have, I don't even know how to say it, one of the coolest people, one of the coolest stories I've ever heard. I've known this lady since probably around 2008. See her almost every year at MAES, Magicians Alliance of Eastern States. And I was having a conversation with her this year, and I said, I have to have that story on the podcast. There's one, you guys will know when it happens. But the lady, I've been talking to her for 30 minutes here. She's like an onion. She's got so many layers to her. So sweet, so awesome. Everybody, it's Donna Horn. How are you?
Wow, I'm just so excited to be here. I thank you so much.
Donna, you are amazing. The more I get to know you, the more I fall in love, the more I want to hang out with you more. I love it. I love it. First of all, I just want to say, I have a whole bunch of junk behind me. This is all magic books behind her for the viewers, right?
Nice.
And I'm seeing the Penn and Teller books over here, and I'm like,
well,
I got that one.
A couple magic ones, but I didn't know that if they were all.
Yeah, that's what I asked, right?
Awesome.
And I started talking about Penn and Teller.
Yeah,
that's the one about Penn and Teller losing weight, right? Penn losing weight, how to make 100 pounds disappear.
The Presto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she said, I also have How to Play with Your Food and this and that and the other one. She couldn't remember the third one. I told her it was Don't Play in Traffic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she said, but that food one. So what you guys don't know, Donna Horn is like the chef magician. So whenever she comes on to MAES and competes in the competition, she always has the chef outfit on and all this. She's an awesome baker. We'll get into all of it. But she said, yeah, the food book. Please tell that story to Natalie.
Oh, the one where I made the bleeding heart?
Yes, please.
Every year, our family has a spooky dinner at Halloween.
Oh, fun.
A real fun spooky dinner. We put a life-size skeleton on the table and fill the ribs with real ribs. And,
I love it.
And I make, skull cupcakes and brownies, and we just have the spookiest dinner ever. And so my granddaughter said, Grandma, this is when she was younger. She said, I want to have a heart that bleeds. Can you do that? Can you do that? And I said, I just read about it in the book. And so I made the cake. It was so much fun making the blood that would go inside of the heart cake. The heart cake is Jell-O, and the inside is a package that you make up with your own blood inside, and you hide it into the cake. And so at Halloween, I gave her she was little, and I gave her this big knife, and I said, sweetheart, you're going to cut the heart open. And she cut the heart, and the blood ran all over. And she was so excited and so happy that I really should write a thank you note to Penn and Teller, because that bleeding heart cake is part of her memory forever. It was just so much fun. And so then I've done it for customers too.
Wow.
Bleeding heart. It's just awesome.
That'd be a big hit. Yeah.
All right. So
awesome.
So tell everybody, tell the listeners, tell Natalie about your baking experience.
My baking experience. Well, should I tell you how it all started?
Please.
Well, I was an English teacher, and I went to a magic show in Philadelphia. And by the time I got home from that, I was nearly dead. That is when the Legionnaire's disease hit the Bellevue Stratford.
Wow.
And I was gone. I had a near-death experience. I almost died.
Oh my goodness.
And I was unable to breathe, and I was floating above my body in the hospital. and I was looking down at myself with all the machines and the wires, and I heard myself say to the doctor, like, I cannot die because I've never been in a hot air balloon. And all of a sudden, there I was getting better. And on the way home from the hospital, my husband and daughter and I stopped at a toy store and we bought those little parachutes, those little toy soldier guys. And we wrote messages on them. And we went up in a hot air balloon and we threw these little soldiers out and they parachuted down and little kids would catch them. And the message inside said, we're celebrating life and we hope you are too. And I was doing rehab for breathing after the Legionnaire's disease. And I know this is how I got into cakes. There was a cake show that was going to be at Cherry Hill Mall, and it was the top decorators in the United States were having this competition. And I made this little cake. It was my first time I had ever tried to enter something. And I invented wafer mache. I took edible wafers, you know, the kind of wafers that you have in communion. And I had previously made lots of costumes for my daughter as she was growing up. I made a lot of paper mache costumes that would cover her entire body and make her into a butterfly with giant wings or into a lion. And so I was really good at paper mache. And I was there recuperating, breathing into one of these little bottles that you have to like breathe in, breathe out. And I thought, oh, I'll make a little cake for this cake show. And I took the wafer and I thought, is there any way that I could make edible decorations on a cake, like edible paper mache? And so I took the wafers, tore them into strips, and the rule with wafer paper is if ever you get it wet, it just dissolves in your mouth and it's, you know, it vanishes. But I've never followed the rules. So I took the wafer, tore it into strips, and I had a glass of 7-Up, and I dipped it into the 7-Up, and it didn't melt. When you get it completely wet, it turned into a fabric, like a fabric that I could gather and pleat and paint. And I made a little boy. I made a little log, and he was sitting on a log, and he was in the woods. I made a woodland scene and a little puppy for him, and he was playing catch with the puppy, and I had rabbit coming out of the log and a whole woodland scene. It was only this big. And I took it to this cake show at the mall, and I asked if I could enter the beginner category. And they said, there's no beginner here. This is the top-notch decorators, you know, of the world, and it's all professional. But they looked at me, you know, and after the Legionnaire's disease, I looked really pretty, like I was going to just fall over. And I think they were just being kind to me. And they said, well, look, we'll put your cake right here. Just you can display it. You know, I guess they didn't want to break my heart. And so what they were doing the judging, and my husband said, Donna, they're calling your name. They were actually calling my name. They called me up onto the platform and they said, we have never seen anything like this before. What is it made of? And I said, it's edible wafer paper. And they said, what do you call this technique? And like right on the spot, I said, well, it's wafer mache. That's what it is. It's wafer mache. And they asked if they could video the cake for the Culinary Arts Institute in Australia because one of the judges was from Australia. And I said, sure, go ahead. And so they're videoing my cake, and these judges are coming up to me and asking me, well, how did you do this? What's it made of? Tell us all about it. And it happened to be in the audience. There was the president of what is known as the International Cake Exploration Society, and it was known as ISIS back then. All right. And they said, wow, we've never seen this. This is amazing. Every year, the ISIS invites a dozen confectionery artists to give a presentation at their convention. Could you come and teach us this wafer mache? And it was out in Rochester, Minnesota. And they asked me if I could come. And I said, I don't have any money to go to this convention. You know, I've never been on an airplane. I have never been to Minnesota. And I just can't afford it. Thank you very much for asking me. And they said, well, listen, we have to tell you that when the demonstrators go to these conventions, they give their lectures and they sell their books. And that's how they pay for their expenses to go to. I'm an English teacher. I know how to write. I had 2 weeks. I went home and wrote a book called Wafer Mache. Had all these books, got on an airplane for the first time in my whole life, went out there, lectured to 4,000 people. This is Wafer Mache. And I sold every book.
Wow.
And that's how I got into cake decorating. And
you said this was like your first cake that you made?
yes.
That is amazing.
It was a miracle. It was a miracle.
It was meant to be.
And that's not the only miracle that happened out there. Every day from the hotel, going to the convention center where I was teaching and demonstrating, I passed this place, big sign, I saw it every day. It was the Twin Cities Magic and Costume Shop. I passed it every day. And I've always wanted to do magic. Like that was on my list of what to do. So on my lunch hour, because they told us at the end of the week, all of you demonstrators, we would really love to have you just do a talent show just for fun so you can relax after a week of teaching. Well, I didn't have any particular talent. So I ran into the Twin City Magic Shop and I said, I need to learn some magic that I can do. And they were just so wonderful there. They were just amazing. They said, well, first thing, you don't want to just buy one magic trick. You don't want to just do one trick. You want to do several tricks in a routine. And it's also important for you to learn scripting. So they just took me under their wing and they showed me, I had never seen any magic before, and they showed me the coloring book. And I was just blown away. There was this book that was blank pages and then it had outlines. I was just like, oh my heavens, there's nothing better than this. Look at this, it's in color. And I was just raving about the coloring book. And I told them, in cake decorating, you start with what color you want and you start with the blank page, you design the cake. And so they said, oh, you need to have a dove pan where you can make a cake. I was like, oh, you're kidding. You're telling me? Oh, wow. And then I said, people generally change their mind on the color. They tell you, they want a yellow one and then they want a blue. So they gave me the color changing handkerchiefs, and they helped me put together an entire routine of, planning a cake in a blank book. It changes color, and then so there I was at the weekend on the stage doing my talent, and I brought the president of the ISIS convention and the vice president. I brought them up onto the stage, and there was this little girl. I brought her up onto the stage, and I told her to go grab the color off of their dresses, like this, rub the color, throw it into the coloring book. And we told the whole story of designing a cake. And at the end, I used the Dove pan to create my cake at the end. And I got a standing ovation, my very first magic routine.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was just so fun. And I had found my home. It was
Well,
what I wanted.
You're getting all this accolade for your cake. You start out just win. You get a standing ovation your first magic show. You get cake prizes for your first cake.
Yeah.
You just can't lose.
It was just great. And from there I started to learn magic, and I got to do a cake for David Copperfield.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was for Project Magic.
Okay.
And I made an edible portrait of David Copperfield with a large cake in the shape of his international logo. And it was for Project Magic, so I made a big magic hat with all of his tricks coming out of the hat. So I had to go to the library and actually learn the tricks so that I could really portray them with accuracy on the cake. And David loved the cake. I made the portrait of his face so that it could levitate off of the cake with a special icing that I learned in England when they invited me to the British Sugarcraft Guild. So I made this. It was just incredibly awesome. And he
You have pictures of this stuff. I want to see it.
I have pictures of David's cake.
Oh, good. I want to see them.
Yeah, the whole portrait was done with what is called run sugar, where you actually run the sugar and it becomes hard like porcelain, and then you can lift it off.
Wow.
Yeah, and David took my family backstage with him, and he gave me roses and chocolate covered strawberries, and he took me all around, and he's just such a gentleman. It was so exciting. And I got to meet Webster.
Wow.
He asked me, David asked me, oh, what would I like? And I said, well, I like to meet Webster. And he goes like this, and there's Webster comes out, and we all get our photos together.
Aw.
He autographed my pastry bag for me. I still have it. And I took the pictures that he gave me to a magic meeting in Collingswood, my very first meeting, and I showed them. They said you have to have a genuine interest in magic. And so I showed them the picture of David Copperfield and Webster, and they said, come on in.
It was Webster that did it. It was Webster.
Yeah, it was Webster. But it's been so much fun. So much fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no kidding.
So how did you go? All right, I have so many questions. I got so many. Legionnaire's disease. You're giving this speech 2 weeks later. How's your breath? How are you at projecting on stage?
Well, I'm a teacher, an English teacher. I project, you know.
But with the Legionnaire's disease and practicing and rehab, were you
Well,
okay?
I rehabbed like crazy.
Wow.
Blowing in those little bottles. You probably know where you have to make the little
The ball rising.
ball rise.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a lot of medication. I was out there having a blast,
That's interesting. All right. So, how did Copperfield find out about your cakes?
I guess just by word of mouth. I've done cakes for like Letterman, Oprah.
Okay, so you made your first cake and you won this thing, and then
Yes.
you did a conference. How soon after this conference did you start? I mean, I'm assuming then you just started making cakes, and that was your business now, right? And so
Yes.
soon after that, did you start making cakes for Letterman and Oprah and Copperfield?
Were you still an English teacher, or did you become just a pastry chef?
A confectionery artist.
There you go. See, get it right.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I came home from that international convention where the top decorators and designers from all over the world meet.
Mhm.
And I was immersed for an entire week. I was teaching and demonstrating, and also had the opportunity to see all the other artists and to learn so many techniques during that week. I came home and started experimenting with everything.
Yeah.
There was just so much. And I networked with other decorators and asked them questions, and they were helping me, and I was helping them. And it was, I got invited across the United States to teach my wafer mache. Because all of the decorators would go home and they would invite me to their state to teach. So I've taught all over the United States my wafer mache techniques. And I got invited to go to the British Sugar Craft Guild in England. And really getting Legionnaire's disease was the best miracle of my life.
Wow.
Even though I died. And I got to go in a hot air balloon.
That's amazing. That is so awesome.
Yeah, no kidding.
How old were
That's
you at this
awesome.
point?
24 maybe.
That's amazing.
I think it was,
That's amazing.
and it's a lot more fun than teaching English.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you also told me, and I said I want to see this wafer book, and you said that it's in the National Museum or something, right?
Oh, what happened? What happened was I got to be known nationally and internationally from my wafer mache. And I was watching a TV show when it was pre-election, and it was George Bush 41 before the election. I had wondered who was going to make the inaugural cake because it was the bicentennial of the presidency, so I figured it really has to be something awesome, and I saw that people were just giving him a tacky sheet cake, for his birthday. And it really, it upset me. I picked up the phone I had a lapse of sanity, all right? I picked up the phone and I called the White House. And I said, who's going to do the inaugural cake? And they said, well, you have to get the address and submit your blueprints down to the third decimal point. I said, well, what is the address? And they said, we can't really give you the address to submit your plan. No, you have to tell us what is your design and we'll see if you're worthy of getting the address.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So there I am on the phone, and I had absolutely no plan in mind, other than, wow, I just wonder who's going to do this awesome cake. So they said, all right, tell us your plan right now before we hang up. And there I am, standing in the middle of my kitchen with absolutely no idea, but I'm an English teacher, and you know how English teachers can go on. I said, well, it's going to be an oval cake with 3 tiers, oval symbolic of the Oval Office. And it's going to be separated by pillars, like the ones on the south portico of the White House. I'm just making this thing up, so it doesn't matter. And it's going to have an edible Bible that he put his oath of office, and the Bible will have turnable pages, and all the scriptures will be in licorice flavored calligraphy, and there will be a huge seal of the presidency, and it's going to be dimensional. The eagle is going to have every single feather dimensional with the feathers curved, and the talons are going to be holding those arrows, and the eagle is going to look so realistic, you're going to swear that the eyes blink. And I said, oh, it's going to have 1,000 points of light, from his speech, 1,000 points of light to illuminate a kinder, gentler nation. And they go, oh, we'll transfer you to the
Oh my goodness.
inaugural committee. Yes, I was like, oh no. And so they transferred me, and they said, we'll give you the address, but you have to have it here. You have to have everything within the next few days. You've got to get it here because that's the deadline. And you have to have a blueprint of your cake. I hang up and I'm like, you're kidding. I don't even know how to do a blueprint. I ran down to the art supply store and I go, hey, could you guys help me? But it was like a miracle. I made a blueprint, and I'm an English teacher, so I typed up 13 pages of all the symbolism I was going to put in this cake. I mailed it off to them. And I got a phone call saying, this is the White House. And I go, you're kidding me. It can't be the White House. And they go, it's the White House. You've been chosen. I've been chosen out of all of the confectionery artists in the universe to do the bicentennial inaugural cake. And this was January 6th. And I was like, oh my heavens, now I've really got to make this. Because, I was just going on like, but this is my vision. This would be wonderful if I could have an edible Bible and 1,000 points of light. And I had $53.
Oh gosh.
I didn't, talk about miracles. I went down to the local shopping bag.
What? Natalie's looking it up right now. Are you looking up the cake?
Is that it? With the big old eagle on the top? Can you see that?
No, it's no, I'll show you.
Okay.
Can you see? Can you see this?
Pull it up a little bit more. And that way. Can you go that? Yeah, up more. Wow.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh my goodness
It's
gracious.
1,000 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
And you see for scale, you see this? I don't know if what you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see
Uh-huh.
this?
The President George
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah.
But-
Hidden inside of that base are 5 truck batteries to power the 1,000 points of light. Do you see that?
Of course.
You see-
Wow.
You see the edible seal of the president?
Oh my goodness.
Look, Natalie.
Look.
Oh
Up,
my
up.
goodness. Yeah,
Higher.
pull it up.
Wow.
And there was I'm sorry, I can't show you. There was an edible Bible. Can you see?
Good. Gosh
That's
almighty.
amazing.
And every page turned. And the scriptures were in licorice flavored food coloring, licorice flavored calligraphy with the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation. Yeah.
Nice.
And-
How long did it take you to make all this?
From January 6th until the 19th.
Wow.
And I made you know how the Bible, I don't know if you know, a lot of people in their Bible, they put clippings and anniversaries and whatever. I made their engagement announcement, a replica of,
Aww.
and put it in the Bible. But the funny thing is when I made the portrait on the edible wafer paper, it looked white. It didn't look like it was, you know, an aged thing. So I stuck it in my toaster oven until it got the proper shade of.
Wow. Oh my goodness. See,
And-
I would have freaked out if I like said all this stuff and then they're like, yeah, go ahead, do it. I've been like, I don't know how. Like, it's just like, wow.
And
I was raised by my grandmother, and she was just an awesome woman. And she always used to read the Bible to me when I was little. And her message was, Donna, you can always move a mountain if you have enough faith. I just had faith. And I went down to the local shopping bag where the manager knew me because I was a Girl Scout leader and we always got our hot dogs and marshmallows and s'mores at his store. And I was just like, oh my heavens, I'm going to do the cake for the president. And I have $53. And he said, go home. You need a nap. And don't you worry. I went home. I took a nap. I woke up and there was like 500 pounds of powdered sugar, vanilla, flour, whatever, all over the place. He delivered it to me. What he did was he went to every shop and bag store in South Jersey and got everything 1 pound at a time and gave it to me. And all of the, I had worked for American Cake Decorating magazine for several years, and I worked for other cake decorating magazines. And when they found out that I was doing the cake, they donated vanilla flavoring, they donated sugar, they donated things for me. And I needed 1,000 points of light. I got like 1,000 pennies. I measured it all out. And I called this factory out in Chicago, whatever. They halted production of their lights in order to make the custom lights for me.
Wow.
And yeah, everyone said it was because of my enthusiasm and my 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 little saying was enthusiasm is the yeast that makes the dough rise. And we got all of the ingredients, and it was just miraculous. It was miraculous. Got it delivered to the Kennedy Center, where the president's family and the vice president's family were going to be on the platform, and we delivered the cake in sections because it was so huge. It was 1,000 pounds. We had Secret Service protection for the cake.
Wow.
You know, I guess so I wouldn't put broccoli in it or whatever. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Even though I almost got shot.
I know. That's what I'm getting ready to get to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the next part. It gets crazy.
What?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, you can't stop. Keep going. What happened?
Well, there we were at the inaugural ball, up on the presidential platform, right next to where the president and his family would be sitting. And the Secret Service men were surrounding me, you know, like you would be watching me with these little radios in their ear, and they said, "Oh, the president's coming down the hallway. He's going to be here at almost any minute." And I'm putting the finishing touches on the cake. You know, when you do artwork, you do the George and the Bush from the center, and then you go back to the other side to finish the word president. So I'm working on the word president, and I am really hurrying because they're saying he's going to be here any second. And I ran out of icing. And I said to my colleague, "Would you load a pastry bag for me with a tip 22 because I've got to finish this." And so with the president about to walk in the door and the Secret Service men were all hyped, she throws this metal thing to me. I grab it and she goes, "Donna, I have a loaded 22 to finish off the president." Not.
Okay.
And I was lucky I wasn't shot. All 90 pounds of me, I jump up to this Secret Service man and I go, "It's a cake decorating term. I'm not trying to shoot the president." And the other Secret Service men here, "Shoot the president?"
Yeah.
They heard that.
Oh,
They
God.
heard shoot the president.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I was in deep batter, let's put it that way. And the reporter came up with the microphone and says, "Well, we finally straightened it out. All right." They realized it was just icing. And the reporter came up to me and said, "Well, now that you've finished, how does it feel to have finished the first cake? That's for the first family." And I said, "It might have been the first cake, but it's the last cake, and I'm totally bushed." And little did I know that at the inaugural ball, there was the curator of the Smithsonian museums. They were there at the inaugural ball, and they had asked me to make a replica of the cake with the actual wafer mache artifacts on it. And it was the first and only time confectionery art was ever inducted into the Smithsonian.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Wow.
That's
And yeah, they told me that it was to be preserved as a national treasure for future generations. And it was inducted into the Smithsonian. But there was a real fight going on because the curator of the National Museum of American History and the curator of the National Museum of American Art were saying, it's mine. It's mine. It's art. It's history. No, it's art, but it's history. And they were fighting it out. And it was inducted into the National Museum of American History.
Wow. That's
And
awesome.
and it's near Paul Revere's silverware.
Oh
and,
my goodness.
and yeah, and Fonzie's jacket.
So you've seen it in there. It's not in the basement somewhere. It's on display.
Well, it's in a vault.
Wow.
It's in a vault.
Yeah.
That is light and humidity controlled, and thankfully it was my wafer mache invention that got it inducted, because it had to go through their microbiology department to prove that there was no sugar in it to attract, rodents or whatever. And because it was something I invented that had no sugar in it, it was inducted into the Smithsonian. So it was all amazing.
That is so cool.
That is cool.
So you told me something about, and I'm just trying to remember a conversation I had with you back in September. There was a story about the dogs too, wasn't there? Are you about the dogs?
Oh, when the whole commotion was going on, and the Secret Service men were ready to do me in, and in the back of the room, they heard me saying, "I'm not trying to shoot the president." The other Secret Service men heard "shoot the president," and they released,
Oh gosh.
And I said, if those dogs lift their leg next to my cake, it's gonna kill them. Yeah.
Golly, that's just so crazy.
No kidding.
I got a little do for you. I'm not trying to shoot the president, but they heard shoot the president.
Right, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
The footnote to it was one of the Secret Service men became our friend, and he actually came to our daughter's wedding.
Aww.
Wow.
That is sweet.
Yeah, so it was.
Did you make your daughter's wedding cake?
I made our daughter's wedding cake.
Oh.
And I did it with Australian rolled fondant that I was able to cut with an X-Acto knife the overlay of lace, edible lace, that matched her wedding gown.
Wow. That's amazing.
And
how cool.
I need pictures. I need
know,
pictures
right?
of all of
yeah,
it.
I do. Yeah. And our daughter and son-in-law, before their first dance, they played "You Decorated My Life."
Aww.
That's amazing.
That's so sweet.
So what about Letterman and Oprah? What did their cakes look like?
Yeah.
Portrait cakes. And they were I invented a cake board that allows you to raise a cake up like this and hang on the wall, and you can cut and serve it and not know how it was up there.
Oh my gosh.
That's a magic trick.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd like to do that for Penn and Teller someday.
That's a magic trick. That's good.
Yeah.
So I like developing different things and making cakes that glow in the dark, or have lava, or explode, or
bleed.
heart-shaped cakes that bleed.
Yeah.
All right,
That
so
is so awesome.
so all the while, are you doing magic shows, or are you just doing cake?
I was doing both.
Okay.
I incorporated magic into the cake. I did a life-size astronaut cake for the opening of a planetarium. And I made a life-sized astronaut according to NASA specifications. It weighed about 300 pounds, and it was 6'3". And it took about 5 men to bring it into the planetarium. And it was, flat like this. And then I had the band, the orchestra playing Space Odyssey, boom, 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 boom. And as it played, I had the dry ice with the smoke. So the astronaut went up like this and actually made a footprint on the edible moon and left a footprint.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That is
And
so
then the fun part was this opening of the planetarium had like all the millionaire donors to the planetarium. And here I am. I have this astronaut, and I thought I would do something really different. Fair play. Men always saw a woman in half. Well, I thought I would saw the astronaut in half. And I took my toy saw right across the chest of the astronaut and lifted out a big chunk, and the top part stayed suspended. And there was the opening hole, and inside was the guest of honor's card
Oh my goodness.
and a piece of cake.
Wow.
That's awesome.
How creative. Like all of it. Every single cake that you've told us about is just, there's an extra little something. Just makes it so creative and so neat.
No, what I don't like about some of the cakes, like Cake Boss and things, it was all done with rice. The rice
Oh
stuff.
yeah, the Rice Krispies.
Yours didn't.
No Rice Krispies.
I feel like that's cheating.
Yeah, it's cheating. It
Thank-
has to taste
Thank
as good as it looks, and it's just total cake, except for the wafer mache decorations. Like for the astronaut, you could even eat the entire life support system, and it
Wow.
would detach from the astronaut.
That is so awesome. Oh my god. I would know.
How cool is she?
I would not know where to begin. I make cake out of, boxes that you just add eggs and oil and water to, and then I make it as pretty as I can make it, and that's as good as it gets.
When we get off the air, we'll show her the cake you made for our daughter.
No, it's okay. I don't have to. No.
But she said she's happy at that level.
I am happy at my level. I do it. It's my way of showing love to my children. I make them and decorate their birthday cakes, but I cannot do anything of the sort. I wouldn't even. Your very first cake, I couldn't do that one. So
But she's passionate about it. If
Oh,
you're passionate
absolutely.
about it, it would be different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really awesome. I love it. Now I want her to do I want her to do a cake for something for us. We probably can't afford you, in all honesty. So
Well, my husband and I used to tease that they were cakes with a comma.
yeah.
Yeah. So as far as magic shows, are you doing shows as well? Are you doing shows at the planetarium? Are you doing something besides the sawing in half? Where does Donna's show? I don't know what your shows look like, because I know you compete at MAES. Are you doing a physical show for birthday parties or family events or anything?
I did before.
Okay.
I did birthday party shows, just wherever you can get a show.
Now, were you the I keep saying, were you the confectionery queen at these shows? We just had John Costello on. He was the polka magician. Did you wear the whole outfit when you did those shows as well?
No, I did different. I was like an elf at a Christmas show. I was, different costumes for different themes.
Yeah.
So
How do you
amazing.
get their cake for their event and their magician for their event all in one place?
When I first started magic, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a one-stop shop. Moms and dads don't want to have to go out and get a cake. They don't want to have to go out and entertain 20 kids they don't know. So I'll do the magic, and girlfriend at the time, hey, girlfriend, you make the cake, and we'll just... that got shot down so quick. They're like, no. Darn, I thought I had a good idea. They
Yeah.
didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like for the astronaut cake, I planned the entire thing with the, the music, the decorations. I even made like the entire moon was made out of rock sugar with rock sugar tools so that the guests could come and chunk off a piece of the moon and put it in their take-home bag that said Edelman Planetarium, So
Wow.
the entire thing I planned, was one stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That
It
is so
is.
cool. All right. So we were talking about having you on in December, but your husband had a fall. He's better now. Everything's good.
Yes, he fell. He had a broken sternum, fractured sternum, and a head bleed. And he just recently had heart surgery for a watchman. He had an artificial heart valve. He's gone through a lot.
Sounds like it.
And everything's good now.
But he's doing fine. He's doing
Good.
fine now.
Wow. Wow. And you told me that you had a fall a little while ago.
Yes.
How did that fall happen?
I don't know. I just fell. It knocked me out cold. I don't know how it happened or whether it was a stroke. I don't know, and the doctors don't really know.
But you hit your head on the sink going down.
Yeah, it really damaged behind right here. My entire eye was black and blue down to here. I had a brain bleed. It was
Gracious.
just awful. I didn't know anything. As I said, I couldn't. They were showing me pictures, and I didn't know if it was a tree. I didn't know what a leaf was. I
Wow.
didn't know anything.
How long did that last?
Quite a while. I mean, it was a lot of like, I was in intensive care for quite a while. Then I had to go into rehab.
Goodness gracious.
She said she's 2 years out and she still has issues. Yeah.
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 Goodness.
I
Wow.
still have double vision, but it's vertical. Like I see two of you.
Like one on top of the other?
The one on top of that
Right.
little, like that. And
Yeah.
That makes me taller.
Huh?
That makes me taller.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're together on that,
That's funny.
But they're putting a special prism in my glasses to help bring the images together.
Oh, wow. That's neat.
And they said in several months they should be getting closer until they become one image.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Good. Yeah.
So it's very hard to really do any, it was hard competing at MAES when you're seeing like double, but I did it,
My goodness.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I want it on record. You told me that for your birthday, you want to just have she has a bucket list
Mm-hmm.
and we want to fulfill it. And I'm saying it on the air. It gets done. Okay. Tell everybody what your bucket list request is.
Oh, I would love to do a metamorphosis. I just would. It would be so much because
what does it symbolize for you? What does it symbolize for you?
it symbolizes for me the transformation that happened to me from almost dying to where I'm fully alive,
Well,
Where you are obviously meant to be because doors just opened and that's just amazing. So yeah.
yeah.
Very cool.
So
It would be.
she told me that we logged onto Zoom. We were talking a little bit. I didn't want to talk a lot because I wanted to save it for the podcast.
Right.
And she said, "Man, I always had this bucket list." I said, "Done." And then Natalie walks in, and I said, "Natalie, I'm sure you're in on it, but I just want to let you know." And she's like, "Yeah, done."
Absolutely.
We just
Oh,
got a
wow.
location. We
Yeah.
just got to figure out a location. We'll be happy to
Let's go.
teach you
The
everything.
House of Magic. The House of Magic would be awesome.
All right, Mark D'Souza. We'll talk to Mark. We'll figure it out. We'll do it. I want to do it for you.
Oh, I love you guys.
Hey, you know, having somebody help you on a bucket list and like your cake for the presidency, I am this big as far as 1,000 points of light or getting you 5 car batteries and figuring out how to hide it in a cake. I can't do that, but let you use our metamorphosis for a night.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Absolutely.
That would be great. Well, speaking of the 1,000 points of light, I forgot to tell you, the Secret Service men said to me, how do you get these 1,000 points of light without any visible wires? And I said, oh, it's a cake decorator secret. And they go, there are no secrets from the Secret Service. And I had to tell them exactly how I got the 1,000 points of light without any wiring.
Wow. Aw.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Say, I don't know. I'm also a magician, and I'm not telling you.
Right, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The good thing I didn't say I would tell you, but then you'd have to shoot me because,
No, you don't want to do
You
that.
came close enough to that anyway.
yes.
That whole fiasco is just, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Here's your
Now,
loaded
looking
22.
back on it,
I'm not going to shoot the president. That is hilarious. That is just so,
I don't
and
think
it's so innocent.
I know, but I don't think she was laughing at the time.
She's laughing now.
She's laughing now.
I still have the 22.
You saved it.
Yeah, I saved it. It's in my china cabinet.
Nice.
Wow, that is a special 22.
Yeah.
That's the 22 that threatened to take out the president. I wonder if George Bush Jr. knows that story. Or does George Bush even know what happened behind? He doesn't even know.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't think so.
So what did George Bush think of the cake? Did you get to see him and meet him?
Oh, they loved the cake. They loved the cake so much that as I said, the Smithsonian wanted me to make a replica cake and put the actual artifacts on it. So
Cool.
Wow.
it was a real honor. It was a real honor.
Wow. All right, so this year MAES, are you going to compete? Are we going to see you?
Of course.
Awesome. I'm bringing my wife this year. She's done with school.
Mm-hmm.
I got her back. So we'll bring everybody. We'll come see you.
That would be great.
Donna, you are amazing. Thank you for doing this. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been great. Oh, it's been a great honor. I appreciate it so much.
This hour has flown by,
Yeah.
and
It was fun.
I knew it would be. I knew it would be.
Yeah.
That's why I was like trying to get it for December, and it just didn't work out. But
Yeah, it's okay.
you got to take care of family first. We
Yeah.
totally get that. Yeah.
Right.
We love you, Donna. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love you guys too. Thank you so much.
The only thing we have left to say is see you next week.
Check us out online at wesiseli.com and patreon.com/Wes_Iseli for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled WESISELI.